the description, the first bit of the description said, when I say it. Hello there, my name is Mackenzie, welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. Today we are doing another monthly mood and releases video. So I did take a break from doing filming in February, mainly because I had a lot of family issues that were going on, so we needed to deal with that, and now we've dealt with it, and we're ready to move on. Alright, let's keep going. So, we're moving into March. What's the mood for March? So I've decided, since February was kind of like an reading month, it didn't really plan out the way I wanted it to go, okay? So what we're going to do instead for March, we're just going to leave it super open-ended. Life is too short, enjoy it. That's the mood. Enjoy what I'm reading. So I have a whole shelf here of books that I think I might enjoy. Honestly, I think that I will enjoy pretty much all of the books that I have, because that's why I bought them, because I think I'll enjoy them. So honestly, it's really open-ended. I just want to really focus on my page count this month. Erin at Booked and Busy read almost 9,000 pages in February, and I am just a little bit jealous. I mean, I'm inspired, but I'm jealous. Like, I have a drive now, I have a goal, I feel like I have competition. I want to be there. I want to get there. So the main goal of March is pushing up that page count number, so we're really gonna focus on the theme being just enjoying it. If I'm not enjoying it, let's put it to this side, let's read something that I'm actually going to enjoy. So, moving on, shifting over into releases happening in March. We'll do these by dates, so if you want to see what's coming out on a specific date, timestamps will be down in the description below. So, for March 2nd, we have a few books that I am really excited that are going to be coming out. Actually, I think March 2nd has the most books that I'm excited about, which is it exciting? Yes, it is. It's exciting. This is a non-fiction memoir and feminist work. I'm very excited about it. The first bit of the description said, when I say it. The first book I'm excited about is called The Soul of a Woman by Help me. The first book that I want to talk about is The Soul of a Woman by Isabel Allende. This is a non-fiction memoir and feminist work I'm very excited about. The little blurb at the beginning says, when I say I was a feminist in kindergarten, I'm not exaggerating, which I think is pretty adorable and pretty sweet, especially considering how feminism is growing and that idea is changing as we push intersectionality into it as well. So I was really excited about this, mainly because I'm looking for more feminist work to integrate into my reading. I am doing more nonfiction, which I am excited about, but it's mainly focused on memoirs and really just more people's lives, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I would like to do more actual feminist reading. Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. It is a contemporary sci-fi literary fiction, which is amazing. Clara's an artificial friend. Girl, are you kidding me? She's an artificial friend who, from her place in the store, watches human behavior. That's adorable, okay? It really reminds me of, did you guys ever read Corduroy as a child? The children's book Corduroy? That's what it reminds me of, but in an AI format, and I'm living for it, okay? I'm very excited about this one, more than I think. It just, you know, when things just excite you so much, you're like, I need to just calm down. I need to calm down and stop thinking about it, okay? Ooh, this is very exciting. That book comes out tomorrow. Ooh, very exciting, you guys, very exciting. Next book, The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. This is a historical fiction mystery novel where a female apothecary dispenses poison to women to liberate them from the men in the from female apothecary gives women poison to liberate them from the men who have harmed them, wronged them in their lives. And this apothecary meets a 12-year-old girl, and that's, a little strange, a little interesting, but it also connects to the present day, which I love when that happens. More than likely somebody's related. For me, historical fiction is fine, but I love when it connects to present day. I love when timelines mean... I really like when timelines meet up, right? Like, not only do I like when there's a present day and a past and a present timeline, I like when they meet up. So I'm really hoping something like that happens. Have I talked enough about them meeting up? All right, let's move on. Down Comes the Night by Allison Saft. This is a gothic romance fantasy. It's also YA, so be aware if that's not your deal, okay? But it's kind of my deal. I was really interested. Ren is a reckless bisexual magic user, and I really think that I could stop right there and I have you, right? Like, that's all you really need. But if you wanted some more, because of her recklessness, she needs to go and prove herself again. So she has to go heal someone to redeem herself. And the patient she goes to heal is actually her kingdom's sworn enemy. So we have some variation of probably enemies to lovers. We're very excited. We have magic. We have queer representation. I'm all about it. And on top of that, we have gothic romance, which I'm always down to read more of because I just don't read enough of gothic romance. Next book coming out March 2nd is The Bright and the Pale by Jessica Rubinowski. This is my guess for the Fairy Loot March box. I'm very excited. This is a fantasy retelling mythology. It's also YA, be aware. We have Thieves Guild, we have icy landscapes, we have settings that are sinister in their own right. Kind of reminds me a little bit of The Shining-esque. We also have some variation of this Russian folklore retelling, which is very interesting. It's not... The author went on to say that it's not exactly a retelling of a specific folklore myth or a specific, what are they called? I guess fairy tale. It's not a specific retelling, more so it's taking inspiration from that whole vibe and that general feeling. So that's very exciting. I don't really read too much with the landscape being very icy, which is kind of interesting to me. I feel like I read a lot of mildly climated areas. Which are supposed to be taking place in Poland, but the two books that I've read so far, it's at least been a mild climate. Anyway, that's off topic. The last book coming out on March 2nd is called I Think I Love You by Ariane Desambre. I hope I'm saying that right. Is a contemporary romance, YA, be aware. Female romance. We have it taking place on a film festival. We have competing filmmakers. Are you kidding me? And then on top of that is the female romance, which frankly I feel like I don't read enough of, and so anytime I see female romance, I'm like, we kind of just need to give it a shot, at least to see what it's about, because we don't get those enough, so I need to at least give them shots. March 9th is the next big day. We have Sing Me Forgotten by Jessica S. Olsen. This is a retelling fantasy YA. It is a Phantom of the Opera gender-bent retelling. Do I need to say any more? I'm not going to. That's all I needed. I looked at the cover and I was like, is this a Phantom of the Opera retelling? Yes, and it's gender-bent. Boom. Boom. Moving on. Next book, Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. I am kind of breaking my series rule because this is kind of a series, but you could really just read it as like its own, I think. Why not? This is a contemporary romance. It is an adult book. Be aware, I'm sure this is an adult book. I really loved Chloe Brown, I really loved the Brown sisters, and on top of that I really loved Talia Hibbert's writing and her romantic style. I like the way she writes romance, I like the way she writes relationships, and I really just want to read more Talia Hibbert in general. So that's what I plan on doing. Last book for March 9th is The Bone Maker by Sarah Beth Durst. This is adult sci-fi fantasy, and anytime I see sci-fi and fantasy together when describing a book, I get very, very excited because that's that's my sweet spot. That's where I jive. That's where I jazz, you know? That's where I live. It's where I thrive. It's very exciting to be in that little sweet spot. This is a standalone. Okay? A standalone. A standalone sci-fi fantasy. Animal Bone Army. 5 warriors. 1 broken. 1 gone soft. 1 pursuing a simple life. 1 stuck in the past. And 1 who should be dead. Are you kidding me? Get on board, bitch. We're going for a ride, okay? Okay? It's very exciting. We're very excited. And this one also seems to focus on, like, losing a spouse or a person you're in a relationship with. I think it's spouse. I'm not sure if they were married or not, but, you know, someone you're in a romantic relationship with and what you're willing to do to get them back. Very exciting. All in a sci-fi fantasy setting. Are you kidding me right now? March 16th, next big day. Put it on your calendar. We have 3 books to talk about. The Memory Collectors by Kim Neville. This is a fiction, magical realism kind of novel. Ev can feel the emotions people leave behind on objects, and Harriet is going to help her create a museum for all of those objects. This reminds me of some soft, sweet version of the Night Circus and, like, what I imagine House on the Cerulean Sea gives you, which is like the cinnamon roll vibes, and that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling Night Circus and cinnamon roll vibes, and I'm really just, I love that idea. It sounds cute, and it also sounds like there might be some romance that I'm just sprinkling in there, and I'm hoping for it, okay? Next book is The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. So this is a contemporary fantasy, magical realism. It is a YA. It does seem interesting though, because Alex has a vision of his brother's imminent death. Alright, so we have magical realism set in the current time. Very exciting. And to have a vision of your brother's, a family member, someone you're close to's death, and what are you gonna do? Let's find out. I mean, why don't you want to follow that story? It seems very exciting. While it seems like a premise that I might have heard of before, it is set in a contemporary setting, which I haven't seen those two done together. So I'm actually pretty excited for it. Haven't read myself something like this before. And the last book coming out on March 16th, The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulet. This is not The Firekeeper's Daughter, it is just Firekeeper's Daughter. YA contemporary mystery? Okay. As a biracial, unenrolled tribal member, product of a scandal, she's never fit in. Really, that's all I needed. I love reading stories where the character doesn't feel like they fit in at all. Because that's really been my experience growing up. I don't feel like I've ever fit in amongst anyone. I'm not white enough to be a white person, and I'm not Latin enough to be a Latina, so I just kind of don't fit in, and I just kind of do my own thing and just hope someone else wants to dance to the beat of my drum, and maybe I'll make some friends. But I love reading stories where the character also feels like they don't fit in for a multitude of reasons, and this feels like something that I could relate to, at least in the sense of where my community is where I don't feel like I belong, especially considering that culture is important and it's something that we try to teach our children, but when you feel like you don't belong to the culture that you're being taught, it can be kind of hard and difficult. So I'm really, how many times can I say I'm actually really excited to read this book? But I'm excited to read this book. That's why I'm bringing it up to you. Hey, we're excited to read these books. God, why am I such a nerd, you guys? 2 books are coming out on March 23rd. Are you excited? I'm excited. I mean, more books are coming out on March 23rd. I'm going to talk about 2 books that are coming out on March 23rd now. First is The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. This is my guess for the March box for Lumacrete. I'm really excited for this. We know, Mackenzie. We know you're really excited for these books. This is a sci-fi, fantasy, queer. This is a queer sci-fi fantasy for adults. We're excited, okay? okay? Taurine is a soldier and Luca is a turncoat. No, Luca needs a turncoat, so she's gonna try and use Taurine through assassinations and massacres in bedrooms and war rooms. Taurine and Luca will haggle over the price of a nation, but some things aren't worth for sale. But some things aren't for sale. Sexy. We love it. War and, I love reading about female soldiers. I love reading about the, not in a contemporary setting. I love reading about female soldiers in a fantasy setting. I don't know why, but it's kind of my shtick. I really enjoy it. It's really exciting to me. I really like political intrigue. I have high hopes for this book because I want it to be not just about this relationship that they're so obviously hinting at. I want a lot of it to be about world building and political intrigue and give me something to think about, really. Give me politics that make me question my morals and make the characters question their morals and what's really important and how do you save people and what's the best way to lead. That is probably the most exciting thing to me in fantasy and sci-fi novels is the politics and the world building around it and how they show morality and leadership within the context of their own world is really exciting, and it can be so wonderful and so great. I'm very excited to read this book, you guys. Are you? And the last book that I'm going to talk about is The Ladies of the Secret Circus by Constantine Sayers. This is a historical fiction, fantasy, magical realism for adults novel. This one also gives me Night Circus vibes, but it also has the other timeline thing that I like, where there's dual timelines, and I feel like they're kind of going to meet up in the middle somewhere. Family secrets and love lost, and you can really just feel that, tragedy. Mwah. I love tragedy. I love the mystery that can surround tragedy. Can you guess it? I'm really excited to read this one, you guys. I'm really excited about all these books. I'm really curious to see how well their ratings are going to stand up. Oh my god. So Editing Mackenzie is going to put the ratings for the books as text because I forgot to read them out to you. I'm interested to see how the Goodreads ratings are going to change throughout the month and towards the end of the month. I have high hopes for a lot of these books, and honestly, I can't wait to see some other booktubers read some of these books. I even have high hopes for The Unbroken, also Firekeeper's Daughter, but I don't know if any of these books are really going to become that popular, so I'd be excited to see how many of them become popular, how many of the books that are coming out in March that I've said I'm excited about are other people excited for, because March is a big reading month. It is a big book release month. It really is. There's a lot of books that are coming out this month. There was a lot to sparse through. I'll also leave links for the websites that I use to find some of these books down below. Timestamps down below. I hope you had a great time here. I hope to see you in the next one. Sorry about taking a little bit of a break, but I have some great content coming up for you guys. So I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!